Well, we're not really close, so you might as well sit right here.
Okay.
As long as we can still see Jimmy.
Front and center.
Front and center.
I'm just a little closer.
That's it. Oh, you know what I need? I need my phone. All right. So, hey guys, this is Brad with Despite Fitness, and we're hanging out here outside of the PX at Camp Humphreys, and just kind of chilling out. Had some coffee. Got done training earlier, and things are feeling pretty good. So, had some questions on Instagram that I want to go through and just kind of open it up for everyone. So we'll do like we'll go from Bree to Jimmy. And like we'll all take stabs at these. We'll try to answer these as fast as we can. Okay. So like we'll go quick answers, right? Just because we don't want to have this be a super long video.
I'm so good at lightning rounds.
All right, so starting with Bree,
yes.
How would you label your training methodology?
I do what my coach tells me to do.
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm kind of in the early stages, so I'm excited to actually have a coach and get some solid programming. My
training methodology would be kind of an amalgamation or a play on Juggernaut system.
My training method would probably be intuition based, which is probably not the best, as we discussed, and it'll be changing.
Intuition based.
Yeah.
We're gonna change that to something else, to something a little bit more based in reality. So this question's not a question. It's from my buddy Dan. He's just saying, hey Brad, I love you. Keep up the good work. Dan, thank you very much. Appreciate you and all the support you have for the channel. What's going on, Bubba? Doing it, man. It's cool. We're going live. All right, so the next one is, we asked this one already, but so you don't have to answer because you already gave the answer for this one. But Neil, what's hotter, a six-pack and a nice smile, or a six-plate deadlift and a furry beard?
Man, I gotta go with the six-pack. It's more my sport. You know,
aesthetics.
All around fitness.
Goddamn aesthetics. All right, how about for you?
Fucking beard.
Yeah, I'm talking 6 plates and furry beard. That's what we're doing around here. All right.
Women, right?
So, yeah, fucking hot. Yeah.
This is what I want.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
Same answer.
I love my woman with a thick beard. All right. So, what rep range? So this is kind of for like, the question is meant for strongman, but if maybe strongman's not necessarily our thing, because I don't think any of us are really super into strongman, we'll talk about rep ranges. But what rep range do you typically do?
If I am in like an off season of powerlifting, I'll do mostly 10s, 8s. Contest prep is more 5, 4, 2, 1.
Okay.
So for me, it depends on what kind of result I'm looking for. Right, so if I'm looking to really tax the muscle, get that muscle hypertrophy, I'm going a lot of time and attention. So I'm going heavier weight with a little bit slower tempo. Right, if I'm trying to kind of get my heart rate moving because I'm doing other stuff at the same time, then I'll go with a little bit lighter weights and you know, getting it done, trying to maintain form.
I think rep range it's a lot of people want to get an idea about like what to do or whatever, but like rep range has a lot more to do with where you are in your program and for what it is that you're trying to achieve. So if you're in a hypertrophy block, rep range is going to be much higher, and if you're in a peaking block, rep range is going to be much lower. I think it's kind of a, you know, what the right word would be, kind of a spectrum. Yeah, exactly. So peaking, low, hypertrophy, high.
For Olympic lifting, you're never generally going over probably like 3 to 4 reps for your stature clean and jerk. For squats, it can vary. You know, you can do 6 sets of 4, 8 sets of 3, or you could have like a max set of 10 or even 20. I've seen.
So higher rep ranges.
For squats though.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, for your clean jerk and snatching, no more than 3, maybe 4.
Triples.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see what else. What else do we have here? That's not it. That's it. Okay. So reps and sets for supplemental lifts and accessories.
Those are going to be higher for me because that's you're not really focused on training the movement. You're training the muscles. So a slightly lower weight, higher reps. Usually like 3 to 5 sets, depending on where I'm at in my training. If I'm further away from a competition, it's going to be more sets. If I'm really honing in, like peaking block, it's going to be lower, like 2 or 3 sets.
Cool. So for me, it's whatever weight I go with. I try to pick a good weight that I can, maintain that good form, right? Really get into the muscle that I'm trying to activate in order to fatigue it the best way. And as soon as that starts to falter, then that's when I'll drop. Maybe do 1 or 2 more reps depending on, and then I'll drop it.
Again, I agree with Bree on the supplemental exercises or accessories. For that, like, I'm not necessarily worried so much about a motor pattern. I'm worried about like building up a muscle tissue and trying to make that tissue stronger and bigger. So typically is a higher rep range that I can sustain, right? So I'll go as heavy as I can go for like say 8 to 10 reps, something like that, for a number of sets, maybe 3 to 5 sets depending on what kind of movement I'm doing.
For accessory work, for me, probably generally like 3 to 5 sets of 8 to 12 reps.
Make sure you're being loud, because I might have to jack up the audio just to catch you on here.
I'm sorry.
It's creeping in over the corner, whispering in my ear.
I'm like behind you like a little elf. So
it's like coming in my ear like R. Kelly over here. I want to pee on you. All right, so this one I think was a misunderstanding for you, Jim, originally, talking about getting people into strongman. So I think the misconception was because you appeared in the video where I was doing some strongman training, I think the assumption was that you mostly do strongman, which I don't really think is the case. But let's just take this question as getting people into training, like whatever, it doesn't matter the modality, getting them into the environment, getting them into training. Maybe somebody who's not necessarily into it. How do you go about getting people into training?
I don't know. I think like just creating that like open and inclusive environment, kind of like we were talking about earlier. You like to be inclusive and like doesn't matter. Everyone starts somewhere, so there's no like certain checkpoint you have to be at before you join the club.
Right.
So just being kind, offering advice when people want it. I try not to give like unsolicited advice unless someone is like literally being unsafe and like, look, you're gonna hurt yourself, and then they might take it the right way or the wrong way. I don't know, that's up to them. But I don't know, yeah, just including people, making them feel welcome, because if you don't feel welcome, it doesn't matter how good you are at something, you're not gonna want to be there.
Yeah, you won't want to be there. What you bringing people into sport?
So I think it all stems from what do you like to do, right? So you find something that you love, and then you find people that love that same thing, and then you grow together. And like you were talking about earlier with the environment, right? So you create that environment. You have a mutual goal. You both want to achieve and get better. And I think that that competition, friendly competition, it just drives success.
Yeah, I think bringing people into sport, whatever it is, whether it's strongman or powerlifting or whatever. I think it's about creating an environment of inclusivity, not exclusivity. Not being elitist. Like Bree said, everybody starts somewhere, but I think that the final part to that is that nobody's ever where they want to be. So everybody starts somewhere, and none of us are ever where we want to be. And so in that, I think there's some commonality, right? We can come together and bond over wherever we are on that spectrum of kind of our own journey. But I think just creating an environment of energy and excitement, I think brings people in.
I hate going last because they kind of like take everything.
You guys gave all the good answers.
I just want to echo this real quick.
we just dovetail on this conversation by saying the same things that they said.
Basically, the thing I could say is a lot of people are timid or scared to join the sport of any type of weightlifting, and I have to stress to them that, hey, don't worry about what weight I'm doing or what weight he's doing. Know what you could do, and let's work on improving that. Your mobility. Being able to rehab whatever you have that's hurt, so you're not continuing to get hurt, and we'll grow from there. Okay, let's see what you could do, and we'll move on from there. Don't worry about anybody else.
Yeah. All right. So the battery on this one is about to die, so I'm going to pause on this. I'm going to go to the other camera to finish out the last couple of questions, and we'll wrap this one up. Hopefully we got Jimbo in this one. This one I can't see. There's no viewfinder, so we'll just see how this goes. Hopefully.
It's okay. I'll be a little hugging you.
That's okay, I'll be like the little ghost. You'll hear my voice.
You just come in like, so.
So,
by the way,
what I would like to say was, all right, so these questions come off of the YouTube channel, and this is, actually all these are from my friend Tiffany. Were actually aimed, mostly directed specifically at you, Bree, but we're all going to take kind of a stab at these and have a little bit of fun.
all right.
All right, so we already went through a couple of these. So you'll have seen some of the answers in the previous video or another video. But here we're going to start with, do you use any supplements?
I do. So I'm sponsored by REDCON 1, so nearly everything, yeah, shameless plug.
I'll drop the, you got a discount code?
I do.
I'll drop that in the link below, check it out.
Thank you very much. So nearly everything I use is from them. I don't use every single one of their products, like religiously, but yeah, my go-to, my absolute necessity, if I had to choose one that I cannot live without, whether it's REDCON or not, is a joint supplement, and theirs Foxtrot is hands down the best one I've ever tried, and I've taken joint stuff for the last nine years, I think, and that one was definitely a game changer. So I can't go without a joint supplement because my knees will hate me. And then other than that, just like, I don't know, just overall wellness stuff. Fish oil, creatine, like your standard. All my supplementation is really centered around recovery. I don't take any extra things.
Okay. Neil?
I'm going to pass it off because I have no knowledge in the supplement realm.
All right, so supplements, really the only two things that I am absolutely religious about is protein, because just making sure that I get enough protein on a day-to-day basis, you know, having that extra protein supplement, whether it's a bar or a shake or whatever, helps me reach my my goals of overall protein. And then creatine. I take creatine fairly religiously, about 5 grams every single day, irrespective of whether I'm training or not. The only time I don't really stick with the 5 grams a day is if I get sick or something like that. I don't like choking down the creatine, so if I get ill, I won't follow through with it, but generally speaking, I'm on those every single day, irrespective.
I'm kind of in the same boat with Neil. I'll take BCAAs here and there and protein here and there, but I'm not really religious with anything. I just try to get everything from my food and do rehab.
Food! All right, next question. We have, okay, this is probably almost going to be exclusively aimed at you, but I'm going to find,
Okay.
hopefully we can, anyway, here we go. Although I follow many strong females like yourself, it seems that many women remain intimidated by the idea of lifting anything heavier than a 15-pound dumbbell. It might be a fear of bulkiness, but it also seems like a fear of intimidation, or a fear of intimidation. What advice can you give to women who've begun a fitness journey, might be stuck in Cardio Bunnyville, but are intrigued by heavy lifting?
Okay. I think so. The fear of being intimidating, maybe, is how that.
We're gonna change this up a bit.
So the fear of like becoming intimidating because you lift heavy, I think, is like maybe what that was trying to get at. I mean, yeah, people tell me I'm intimidating, or you know, like they don't want to come up and talk to me because they're like, ooh, she just looks scary. Like, you guys, I'm so nice though. Like, I can't believe that like anyone was like legit like intimidated by me, but that's fine. That's okay.
How do you turn the corner from Cardio Bunnyville to powerlifter?
Oh.
What would be your advice to somebody like how would you talk to old you? Remember we talked about old you being the Cardio Bunny and like having this idea to getting into lifting.
Yeah, so I mean, for me to like be able to let go of the Cardio Bunny situation and move on to really embracing like my goals, because I did want to get stronger. I did want to get like I did want to put on muscle and you know, like look toned. I hate that word, but like I think that's just relevant to the situation. But for me, like I had to let go of the fact that if those were like truly my goals, then I had to let go of continuing to wanting to weigh less, because that was something I was like constantly chasing. That may not be everyone's struggle, but for me, like once I let go of that and I found strength and just like started training like I wanted to and really enjoyed training again, like that's just so empowering. So I guess like my advice is just to like just do it, man. Just give it a try. Like, give it the old college try. If you see someone like another strong female that, you know, is like inspirational, or, you know, like they're motivating you, or you have questions, like ask questions. Hopefully like someone who's in that role, like I know we mentioned it earlier, like we're kind of, you have to be an ambassador of your sport. And so hopefully I would really pray that, you know, those people who are accomplished and have people who are inspired and motivated by them would own that and have just the knowledge about them to, I don't know how to say this like tactfully. I wish I had like better words in my head, but I would hope that those people are able to like have patience and acceptance and be like, wow, this person really is like genuinely asking questions and just like care about that. So yeah, I encourage just give it a try. Like there's nothing bad can happen by just trying.
Okay, so moving from somebody who's maybe stuck in the normal like bro split, right, to maybe getting in and actually doing something competitive, whether that be like CrossFit-y type stuff, or say like powerlifting. However, like, so how do you make the transition from bro to competitor?
Okay, so I think everybody should be constantly challenging themselves, constantly trying to get better. There's no time that, and again, going back to environment, right? And a competition mindset and a competition environment is how you're going to make those lifts that you didn't think you could before, right? So kind of branching out, going into that uncomfortable zone, if that's an uncomfortable zone for you, I think that just makes you grow as an overall person. And fitness is great, amazing, I love it. But I think, you know, we, as people, we should try to grow in all aspects of our life. And again, challenging or meeting those challenges is going to help you do so.
I don't really have anything to add to what Neil said. Because I love competing. I feel like everyone should be able to compete. That's how you get better. I feel like competition's like good for the soul. Something I wanted to add on to Bree's question was women are constantly looking at the top 1% or top 0.5% of these CrossFit athletes, and women who actually are like the top competitors, and they work so hard to be able to look like that. If a girl's scared she's going to lift a few weights and look like that, she's absolutely wrong. You have to put in so much work and effort. You're not going to be anywhere close to that, so you don't have nothing to fear about looking like that.
I want to add real quick one point to that. So, with on the same aspect of lifting weights, you have to in order to look like or get the man body, you have to really try and know what you're doing in order to get there. Just lifting heavier weights is going to make you shred fat and, you know, get a more toned, like athletic looking body.
So kind of at the spirit of the question, kind of like taking that transition from, I might have a little bit of a dirty lens, folks, I'm sorry. All right, cool. So having a bit of a transition, right, going from like a cardio bunny to lifter or whatever, the thing that I would recommend for you guys is feed the curiosity. So if you're already curious, you already have kind of that kernel of what it takes to make the transition. Feed the curiosity. Ask somebody about how their training splits work or what their program might look like. You know, try to get on an example program or something like that, and just try it. So kind of not too dissimilar from what everyone else said. Just try it. If you feel like you're curious and you want to make the change, then feed your curiosity. All right, so we have another question. This one is, we'll go through everybody again. What do you love most about heavy lifting?
Oh man.
Now, granted, we could go on for a couple hours. But let's also remember, we got 4 people answering. So let's find a few quick, succinct.
Start over there.
Okay, succinct things about heavy lifting. What do you love about heavy lifting?
Sorry, I just never went first, but it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's a little bit of pressure, huh?
It honestly is, okay?
I mean, should I go first?
Hey, no, I got it. What I love about heavy lifting is I love that, hey, I just got better, you know, and I was able to move like 2.5 times my body weight. Like, it's just like this amazing feeling, you know. You feel like you're a meta-human, which is, if you don't watch DC Comics, it's like a superhero almost. So I like it a lot.
Okay.
The absolute euphoria you get when you hit a PR. It shows that this work that I've been putting in is actually benefiting, and I'm actually getting something from it. So it is that. I mean, that's a simple answer right there. The euphoria from hitting PR. It's my favorite thing about heavy lifting.
Yeah, so my answer is really similar to yours, but I'll just use like different verbiage, I guess. I love the emotion in heavy lifting. Like, several times, especially recently, and I really can't pinpoint why, but when I've hit recent PRs, I'll get like emotional after. Like I get so shaky from the adrenaline and like my eyes tear up and I'm like, holy shit, like I can't believe I just did that. Like something, like being able to achieve something that you thought was like a far off goal, and you know, it was kind of like a pipe dream, like, oh, that'd be really cool, like in some alternate universe, but then like, oh my god, like I'm actually there, like this is not an alternate universe, like I just created it and I made it happen, and it's like an emotional event.
So yeah, it becomes an event.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's awesome. That feeling is like undescribable. It's great.
I think Arnold described it very well in one of his interviews. It's like I'm calming all the time. In the morning I'm calming, in the evening I go home and I'm calming again. It's amazing, right? Like it is the feeling of self-improvement, but it's the tangible result, right? Like you can see it. It's real. It's not like some idea. It's physical. It's a physical manifestation of the betterment of yourself, and I feel like that's probably like one of my favorite things about lifting heavy. It's just the self-improvement, and then knowing all the work that took to get there, right? Because like, you know, it's weird because it's almost like an iceberg. A lot of people see that PR and they think, oh, cool, you know, you just hit this great PR. But what they don't see is the vast amount of work below the surface that took to get there, right? And so the feeling that I get is the understanding of how much time, effort, and energy I poured into being able to execute that one lift is awesome. So that's kind of how I feel about it. All right, so we got another question. Now we're almost done. All right, what are some of your current training goals? Give me like 1 or 2 current goals.
I want to hit 1,000 pound total. Hopefully we'll see that in about 2 weeks. So that's a very, very current goal for powerlifting. And then I want to compete in some USAPL meets probably towards the end of this year, and then start competing in bodybuilding again next year in the 2020 season.
Cool.
So a small one that I had actually hit today was hitting that 375 front squat. That was really big for me, so I was super excited about that.
Yeah.
But on a more grand scale, I want to be part of a team that goes to the CrossFit Games. So I think that's within reach in the next year or 2.
Fuck yeah, dude. Jimbo?
I want to hit a 320 kg total in my snatch and clean and jerk. Right now, I have 290, and it'd be cool to be able to put on 30 kgs somehow.
That's kilograms.
That's the kilograms.
He's operating in Europe time.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, for me, I think I would like to I'd like to hit a 2,100 pound total, go 858. I feel like that'd be a pretty good deal, and then seeing where I can go. But like, you know, goals are kind of ethereal, right? Like it's they come and they go. So you have a goal and it's in your mind for a period of time, and then you accomplish it, and it's, you know, and then it's just moving on to the next thing, right? So it's good to have a target. I feel like it's good to have that thing off in the distance to be aiming for, but if you're doing it right, you should be setting close, tangible goals that you can execute, and then get to the next one and get to the next one. Goals should never be so lofty that there's really no measure of whether or not you're able to accomplish it. That's just my thought. All right, so we have 2 more questions. All right, and then we'll do this pretty quick. So this one I want you guys to try to answer as fast as you can.
Okay.
All right, so this question is, how did you meet Brad? Is he as cool in person as he seems in his videos? He seems like a swell dude. So how did you meet me, and am I as cool as I seem to be?
How did I meet? I met you back in December at the powerlifting meet at Osan, and yeah, pretty cool dude. Pass.
I met you in Florida, and I am always attracted to the people lifting the most in the gym, because obviously they're doing something right. And so I went and I just started talking to him, and absolutely everything we were talking about, super welcoming, personable, all that stuff. He's a good dude.
I actually didn't meet you in the powerlifting meet in December. I met you when you came there to train on your off time. But in December in the powerlifting meet, I remember how energetic you were and awesome you were. So like when I saw you in the gym again, I was like, dude, I gotta talk to you. And it was freaking awesome. Like you're like this great, cool bro, like you are.
He's great.
Yeah.
So I think really one of the things that I lean on the most is just trying to be as open as I can, you know, and being as honest as I can with people, right? So telling people how I feel about them and trying to be very positive and investing in people, I think, is what gets me where I am, because I very much invest in people. Because if you build relationships, you build friendships, that's really what lasts. Individual accomplishments mean very little in respect to, you know, being able to coordinate people and getting everyone kind of moving in the same direction. What I can achieve by myself is so very much smaller than what I could achieve with, you know, how many people behind me, right? So that's kind of my philosophy for kind of how I approach life. All right, so last question, and we'll go for like top one, right? So right now, what is your hype jam for lifting? Your go-to, like you're about to do the heavy single, you want to amp up, you're getting there.
This is easy.
Where are you going?
This is the easiest question of all day. Destroy by Rob Bailey and the Hustle Standard.
Okay. All right. Hype up jam.
Mine is Slow Burn by Atreyu.
Okay.
Kings of Leon, The End.
Okay. Right now, my go-to song is All Out Life by Slipknot. Something about that song, I start feeling the itch and I go crazy. All right, so that's it for the video, guys. I want to wrap this one down. It's already been kind of long enough. Hopefully we can stitch this together and some information for you guys, and hopefully an entertaining format. What I like most is the opportunity to be able to hang out with these guys and ask questions and just enjoy time and space. For me, the thing like that I mentioned before is the investment in people, right? The opportunity to be able to share time and space with these folks, for me, means a lot. So if for anything else, it's just fun making the video. So hopefully it's something, you know, entertaining or interesting was in there for you guys and be able to learn something. Again, thank you guys so much. I got Brianna, got Neil, got Jim, and then I'm gonna put all of their, in fact, I'll do it this shot right here. I'm gonna put in all of their Instagrams so that you guys can find them online. Put out obviously down below as well links to their IGs and stuff like that, so you can follow, give them a follow and tell them I said what's up. But yeah, we're gonna close it down. I appreciate the opportunity to answer some questions and things like that, so thank you guys for sending the questions in. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, that's it, guys. Remember, no matter what it is you think you can't do, train despite. You're either going to find an excuse, you're going to find a way, and I hope that you guys continue to find the way. You could support me with likes, shares, and subscribes. It means a lot to me. And yeah, guys, just thanks again for watching the video. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.